Today we're going to take a bit of a left turn and go into some philosophizing and try and tackle some really difficult issues, starting with this question. So when you write code, how do you know it works? Like, reflect, what is it that tells you that it's correct? Well, let's consider Project Zero in this course. When you wrote InBody and you had planets flying around, how did you know it worked? Well, one, we gave you some tests, code you could run locally that would yell at you if things were wrong. Now, they weren't perfect. You could still pass all those tests and still have something wrong. So you also had the ability to run all of the code and see what happens. And if the planets seem to orbit, well, probably things are working out pretty well. And if not, seems like something's probably broken. But ultimately, the thing that really gave you the confidence to feel like, yeah, my code works was an autograder. And of course, in the real world, there is no autograder. And so in this lecture, we're going to talk about what it's like to not have this wonderful, mystical thing that can tell you that your code is right. So in the real world, of course, programmers know their code is right because of tests they write themselves. And it's not necessarily the same person who writes the code writes the test. It could be a team where there's some test-related programmers and some implementation-focused programmers. But ultimately, the community of programmers themselves are the ones who produce the tests. And so even with all of the effort you might put into testing, say, right, someone gives you tests, you write your own, you look at the program and see if things work, I do want to note that it's actually impossible, for the most part, to know that your code absolutely 100% works. And in fact, there have been major libraries out there that for decades, there have been bugs lurking that come up much later. That's just kind of a fact of life. So what we're going to do is try and get as close as we can to confidence in our own code's functioning by writing our own tests. We're going to try and do what real-world programmers do, and that will be our new way.
You are ready to be taught the new way. Will you help teach me about this? What is it?
New way.
A new way?
So you'll be playing the part of Coop, and I will be Gene. That's not going to be easy to learn how to test. There's a lot of things you have to know how to do, and while it might look easy when I do it, you'll find that it's actually quite tricky in practice, sometimes tedious. So I'm hoping this video will get you appropriately pumped and ready to go with this difficult new task. All right. So to summarize what we're going to do in this lecture, at least, we need some task to solve where we can try out this new way. And so what we're going to do is write a sorting method where we give a method sort an array of strings, say he is the Agoyatis of Mr. Konkis, and it will destructively, in place, sort that string or array of strings. So that once this method is done executing, that array will contain Agoyatis Konkis, he is Mr. of the. So the old way, to reiterate, we had an autograder already built. You would write your sort method, the autograder would inspect it, and then output some stuff on gradescope.com. That would be about your algorithm and how well it worked. But today, what we're going to do, the new way, is going to be to write test sort ourselves in addition to sort. And as we'll do in a moment, even crazier, we're going to write test sort first before we've even thought about how to even go about sorting.